There is no second best crypto asset. There is no second. There is no second best. There is no second best.
Just mute myself in the meantime.
There is no second best. There is no second best crypto asset.
Hello. Mic check 1 2. Hello. I take it everyone can hear me. Works. Excellent. It helps generally when you unmute the microphone. I'll give you that pro tip. So everyone, thank you all for joining in. This stream is with the absolute legend himself, TraderSZ, who has been trading for many a year and has been crushing the market in both directions. Wow, okay, lots and lots of followers jumping on. I'm just going to turn that sound off because it's a bit off-putting. And yeah, thank you to Delta Exchange for sponsoring the stream. There's a link in the bio if you want to trade options on there and exploit some volatility that's hopefully coming at the start of this glorious bull run. Can't you afford any furniture in that equity room? No, it's a bear market, mate. I've sold it all. I'm living on the floor with my laptop. So how's everyone feeling today? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Are we at the start of the new cycle? What's going on? What's the chat feeling? 0. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it's been quite an impressive pump. Deviation. Say the line, I see. Bear, short term. All-time high by Q3, lovely. Nice mixed opinions. But yes. How about you? I see. How are you feeling?
You know what? I'm at a point where I'm macro bearish, but I don't know. I'm open to change my mind. I don't know. I've got a feeling we get a relief. I mean, there's certain trigger confirmations I've got to wait for. But for now, I was long this morning.
Yeah.
I was long this morning. I've closed out my shorts not long ago completely.
Beautiful.
Closed out my lungs. We'll see. I'll just play it level to level for now. I'm really confused. I mean, there's no point committing to a direction. I don't know. It takes time to confirm it for me the way I trade anyway. I mean, those that nail the low and hold it for a swing, yeah, much better than me. I'm not that good. But yeah, I'm playing it level to level until I'm proven otherwise. And sometimes the level to level trade can evolve into something bigger. If not, I can always get in and out.
So what kind of levels are you looking at the moment?
Well, I'm watching.
Do you want me to share your screen?
Yeah, it's probably easier. I need permission, I think it says. To share screen. It says hosts disabled. So you need to give permission. Yeah, I think you need to make a...
There we go, boss. Share screen.
Now I can. Make sure I got the right screen case.
Yeah, quick.
With me, you never know.
Close those midgets.
Oh shit. Ooh, was a close one.
It's the clown stuff these days, isn't it? That's what's all over crypto Twitter.
Can you see that clown stuff that clown guy was posting?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's
scared the shit out of me. That's the stuff of nightmares, mate.
Shit that is, man. The fuck is that? Put up the screen. I look for my pen tool now. Where have I done it? There we go. So basically, I mean, am I bearish? Yes. But does that mean I'm going to trade? No. I've actually attempted to short F on the weekend. First got stopped at break even. Second, just a small profit. And since then, normally when I get like it's not going my way,
yeah,
it keeps giving me the ideal entries. That's like a no-go for me. And I was waiting. So one setup I had was, I mean, if you look at the bigger picture, we are at macro support level. I mean, saying it's gonna go all the way down here. For me, it has to have some confirmation. So, I mean, if I was to draw this line here, I should do it properly. If I was to draw this line here, previous all-time high, I mean, that's just the obvious level. And when if it's trading around here, we can also, well, that was support, that's obvious, yeah. But are you trading it down there? And if you are going to trade it, what do you need to see for it to get to there? It doesn't necessarily have to, it could be to there. So, what I'm just doing is, I'm just playing it over to level. So, I ask myself, before I even get to the short-term stuff. What do I need to see for for me to say it's gonna go lower? And what do I need to see for me to be confident? Is my voice low?
Let me. Might be me.
I was away from the mic. I was sitting on
Try
back of the
that.
chair. Better.
Perfect.
Okay. Yep. So, that's was out those two questions. So what I'm gonna do is mark out that level there, black, and I'm also gonna mark out the monthly open. So if it's gonna go lower, what would be my objective for price? There's a couple of ways I'm looking at it. One way is, oh, that's the pendulum again. Is like here. So if it's gonna go lower, I'm gonna be going for these levels here, around about here, because that level is actually critical in my opinion. Here, it's a different range on its own. So what I'm doing ahead is, if it's gonna go lower, where do I want it to reach for? So I'm just taking it step by step. And if it's gonna go higher, where do I want it to reach for? Well, I'm gonna go for a bare minimum target, but around about retest here, and then if it gets above there, that is a too obvious short for me, in my opinion. I'll show an example of that, and then most likely towards here. So all I'm doing is I'm breaking it down to ranges. So this is one range, that's one range, and above here could easily go towards there, in my opinion. So before we get to anything else, let's focus on the short term and short-term stuff now. That's my long-term areas I'm looking for, and I'm also watching the ES as well, and stuff like that. So here, I mean, before we even begin, I mean, we've got to cross a lot of stuff to even get bullish. So when it's bottoming out, I mean, that would constitute like a double bottom formation for me, and that is a clean break and hold above. Then that's a separate range towards there. So for now, I don't need to worry about that. I just need to worry about current price action, which is trapped within here. And that's all I've been doing today. I marked out my levels. So go to the short term. I actually did a snippet video. So short term, these are the short term levels, and then we can talk about breakout trading. So short term, where are we stuck within? We're stuck within here. So I always start with my higher time frame, even if we're not going to get there. It's just, for me, psychologically, just sets the context.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that was the high that was capping the market over the weekend, and this is the low that's capping the downside. And now that we've broken above there, what's the next level? Well, we already hit that, which is previous all-time high, marked out. So if I hadn't drawn that level, I wouldn't know where to change, close, and that's why I closed my position. So my first target, it's on my Twitter feed actually, target 1 there, and target 2 previous all-time high. So that, for a scalp, that's a decent short, but I didn't take the short. I took profit instead. So for me to say, okay, where's the next level is going to be, or the next area is going to be this target here. So if I'm going to get my level to level out, it's going to be this area here. Why? That's capping the market to the upside. So what do I want to see? We've got the monthly open here, and this is like a gray area for me, because previously this has been like a deviation. Once it gets back below, range low. Deviation once it gets back below, range low. Now this is forming a higher low now. So is this the beginning? I don't know. So what I want to see is a couple of scenarios. One, the easy scenario would be if it consolidates and holds above here. That tells me that, okay, we've got some acceptance. And once it reclaims back over previous all-time high, I'll be going for a long towards there. And then after that, what's the next play? So see how I'm doing? I'm playing it level to level. I actually catch probably more of a swing trade because I keep getting on board. And then after that, we've probably got this formation here. So that's the higher time frame formation. Trend line. So once it hits that, if it gives me the trigger, consolidation tells me, okay, we're holding, break above towards there. And then unless it rockets through, if it finds resistance here, I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to do the same thing again. If it gets back above and holds above here, then raise my next target. And then ultimately, we never really retested these highs here, but I'm going to go for more conservative area around here. And that will wipe out the stops from there towards there. And my view is, if it's going to get above here, this run up should have done the damage already. But why is it coming back above here? And obviously, if equities line up with it, like ES starts to line up and stuff, then I'm going to go for there. And that ultimately, I mean, if you look at it from a simplistic point of view, is actually still range bound. So that would create a bigger range for me. That's there. And say here. So we're still trading range bound really within here. And if it breaks above here, then it's game on. I think that could be a nasty fat squeeze. I don't think at that point, I mean, shorting here would be too obvious. Shorting here would be too obvious. I reckon it makes more sense to really, if it gets back above here, so it's got to get back above here before I start getting it. But if it gets back above here and holds, so that's if I'm whatever reason, if it does push up from here and I miss it, then I'm probably gonna target here. Obviously, I will get out, or if it gives me a reason. But then I think it just makes more sense to really just go for those dirty spikes Bitcoin does at times. And once it does that, then I'm gonna watch ES. I'm gonna go to ES as well, how comfy ones. And then if it gets back below here, I think that's the top end. That's the trend line. Smack it back down to new lows. Yeah. So yeah, that's more or less. I mean, I'm waffling on here, so I'm just like.
No, mate, it's great.
Now on the other side, if we are wrong, and this is gonna go lower, then that opens the doors towards those objectives for me. This is a nice area in my opinion. But before that, we don't have to worry about that just yet. What will be the next short-term downside? It would have to be obviously here. I'll draw it out as a box. So again, I don't need to know if it's going to go up, is it going to go down. Who gives a fuck? Just play your levels. I mean, does it really matter? But it's going to go just straight. That's my approach. So there's two options. One is, in case, even if it does go back in the range, this could still be a higher low. So scenario one is, I mean, which I don't really want to see, but if it does that, it's back within the range. And that's my short to the top of the consolidation, and then to the range lows. Now, if it breaks below the range lows and holds, we've already got the deviation done. Longs are trapped. Breakout longs above this range, and that's maybe short towards probably here. And then after that, all the way down to zero, straight up. So that's the deviation I'm waiting for. And I'm going to look at confluence. Look at confluence with that. Sorry?
I said you said the line deviation.
Deviation. That's it. It's game over. I've actually got a setup here. I mean, for F. I think F is screwed. I mean, if you, I want to get a clean chart of F. Bear with me. I can't make this neighbors making a lot of noise. F. So if I look at the yearly chart for F, I mean, we're far from done, and on a higher time frame basis, you know, these small rallies don't mean much. Okay, until it's obvious. Once a higher time frame level breaks, then I can say bottom is in. But I just find it hard to believe. Now, this is the one thing. Sometimes we get caught up. I do myself, saying, I mean, normally I would anticipate this to get taken, but the market will do what it wants. So that is going to be my target for F, and I'm going to be watching this. If it deviates and then gets back above, then I'm probably start looking for a long-term, well, a swing longs. So for me personally, I think I'm just waiting for F to top out. I think this gets hammered hard. When does it get hammered? I don't know, but I'm going to be looking for that target. And what I think it's going to do is, and this is where I get the Bitcoin trigger as well. I think this is technically a bit more cleaner than Bitcoin. Is okay. Let's do this. It's a basic trendline break. So right now, I mean, both F and BTC are breaking out. Okay, down here. So I'm happy to get on board a bit later. Below my short term. I'm not sure if that high was taken. I would love it. But if it gets back below here, then that's a deviation done. And then get ready. I think new lows then. So if that happens, and then say Bitcoin is below the range level I mentioned, this confluencing both, and I'm going to go for a swing short there, at least towards here, and then 2021 low. So higher time frame, has anything changed? Not really. I mean, let's not get too horny over this little move here. You're still forgetting this. You're still forgetting that top move. I mean, nothing's overdone yet. However, we are open to both sides, and the range high is technically down here, and I'm going to call this the range low. So far, that's a deviation. That's a retest. So the ideal trigger scenario will be below here, and that's it. It's over. We're done, I think. So if that gives me the trigger, I've been using F a lot for my triggers. Obviously, F is the high beta play, but I do find F cleaner to read sometimes. Sometimes if I'm looking for a trigger on BTC, I look at F. I don't know. This year, F has been...
Nice. No, not me personally. I've not traded ETH much over the last year or so. I've actually been quite deep in the high beta alts.
You know, I don't like trading alts. I'll take the one-off ones. I mean, I'm more like a spot player. Like alts. I find them too volatile for me. I prefer the easier. I don't mind less of a move, but I can put more money behind it. If I do trade, I don't know. You and XO do that. But XO does alts really well. I can't trade alts. I'm so shit at them.
Yeah, but I mean, you find what works for you, right? Like everyone's trading differently. Like you got people like Jim who are in and out on the 1 minute, and you know they're done and dusted. Their trades are over in 30 seconds. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I saw him on the 30-second chart. I thought it was a joke first of all. Fucking hell, people actually do. I didn't know that was a real thing.
Yeah, you can go down to 1 second if you're that much of a degenerate. and you really want to.
Heart attack watching at this. I mean, I'm.
Yeah, look, get onto the 1 second chart and sell off a 1 second RSI div. That's my secret system. Works every time.
Swing lows. Okay, huh?
See? Yeah. I know.
Yeah, that's just my basic. That's just my basic plan. I'll show one more chart. I mean, my macro levels are here. These are my macro levels, and I mean, I'm not gonna give away too much how I get them, but my normal guidance is these levels here. So, I mean, from a risk reward point of view, as long as this holds, I'm gonna wait for something like this. I genuinely believe. Here's my main. So these are the thick ones are my main macro levels. Okay. So you know what? Screenshot whoever interested. Screenshot them and see how they unfold. Don't trade it. Use the same exchange. Target one, and this is where I'll be probably looking. If the first area for a bottom is going to be that level there, which lines up perfectly with here. I mean, if it was just a SR trader and this was a 5-minute chart, I mean, the first area is here, obviously, but I don't know. This seems to be a better play to me. So if it is this, and from this perspective, right, this will still be a range. But the moment it got back above here, I would say that's the low end. And that part, I'd probably play towards new highs.
Nice. So do you think that the question that's circulating around a lot, I guess, is, are we going to get another cycle ever?
See, the fact that people are saying that, I probably think so, because that's when all hope is lost. I mean, for the only, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, we can joke about. Does it really matter anyway? No. I don't think Bitcoin's going anywhere, zero. It's just a mechanism, isn't it, for just shifting money from one hand to the other. I mean, this is the best way. It's fast, it's volatile. People lose hope and gain hope within 1 5-minute chart. Crypto's back, and then bullish, bearish candle, crypto's over. You know.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Today, crypto's back. It's a mega new super cycle. We've pumped what?
People start spaces after a 5-minute candle. Bullish candle spaces start from it's over. No more. I'll taking a break from Twitter to 1 5-minute candle. Everyone, okay, lads, we're back. You know, you have everything. You have bull and bear cycle within one leg. So it's not going nowhere. For the entertainment purposes alone, it needs to stay.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I personally don't think the market's ever going to die in terms of it being a speculative asset and a volatile one at that. Like, for traders, that's all you can really ask for, isn't it? Something that fucking moves, and it moves pretty well. Like, if it sat there and stayed at 20k for the next 5 years, we'd be pulling our fucking hair out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I certainly hope it's not.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, one thing I do, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are here to stay. Do we get the extreme moves we have? No, probably not really. I don't see it happening, but I don't care if I prefer if I'm wrong. It'll work out better for me, but I don't think we'll have the alts. I think when the regulations kick in hard, I mean at the beginning we get the 1000x moves, but I don't know. I don't see the big moves. I hope I am wrong. You know, I mean I made a lot of money from them, but unfortunately I don't see it happening. I mean, it's just as nice as it is to the upside, everybody's getting screwed to the downside as well. We forget the downside scenarios what markets can do. But again, I don't know. I'm not a regulator. I don't know the future, but we just keep milking it till it doesn't happen anymore. So I don't think it's worth stressing ourselves. What's the point of stressing ourselves over whether it does or doesn't? Just trade what you can. And maybe it does continue and you missed out the opportunity cost by thinking it's not. So just keep trading your levels until it doesn't work. And then if it's over, then it's over. It's obvious then. So then we can stress. But till then, opium. We're gonna get another 1000x.
Yeah. I mean, who honestly knows, right? But that's it. And I think like what I've personally observed from people on Twitter who's kind of stayed about, like if they haven't already quote unquote made it, or they're not, you know, experienced traders or whatever, you know, they've gone through their first bull cycle. So they're kind of going from that mindset of, oh, I've just gone up, you know, 50x my portfolio, and now actually I've just gone minus 80% from my all-time highs, or I better start learning like risk management and trading. You know, if this was their first full cycle, which is quite an explosive one. Like, I don't know what the mix of people in the chat is like in terms of, you know, experienced trader versus relatively new. I mean, what would your advice be to someone who's, you know, just been through that big cycle and just now starting to try and get into trading?
It's
quite a big question.
So, what's the main crux of it? So, I was sat in one position. I forgot to
No,
close.
that's all right.
So,
Like, what advice would you give a newer trader? I guess.
to be honest, I mean, one thing I always do. I mean, what's the biggest issues? I'd have to work backwards. What is the problem first?
Sure.
So the problem is, I find, and I'm not sure. I mean, the chat can maybe confirm or whatever. Is, do you guys have problem in profit taking? And that FOMO is, I don't want to miss that big move. What is the reason why people try to catch a bottom? Because they don't want to miss that move, is it? You know, and you gotta ask yourself, how many times have you done that and it's not worked out for you? Whereas when often the bottom is in and then we get on board, we don't make the exact percent, but we make something, right? So what's better? 1,000 cuts or miss out a small portion for that confirmation, but then going with a bit bigger size. I feel more confident getting on a bigger size after the high is in. For example, so when I'm shorting this fucker, most of my money's been made shorting, but I don't catch the top. Yes, sometimes you see me get lucky. I'll give you like 3 examples. I did not catch this. If you actually watch my streams, I was actually really bullish at the highs. I was actually really bullish, but I'm long till I'm wrong, and then once the long is this, so at this point I get cautious. So at this point I was cautious here, and I was marking out long setups. I said, okay, if this holds, this is one of my ideal setups, like this, all the way up. But the moment is game over. That's it. I'm switching. So I'm long till range highs, and then once that gives it, that's it. That's where I make my money here. These legs here, but I miss out on this. I never caught this. Yes, I caught some small legs here, but until this is broken, that's still support, isn't it? For me anyway. So at this point, there's a battle with the previous all-time high, and technically that's a key SR level because that was the initial area of deviation first. So what if this was the trend continuation up? So that was okay. So I planned already, even if I am wrong, that I can get back on board here. So the form was removed. So I think a lot of new traders, they're buying all-time high. Even if you do buy all-time high, have an exit plan. Have an exit plan, and knowing full well that, okay, if it confirms, this will be the confirmation, you can always get back in. So if you already know how to get back in, then there's that FOMO removed. So I think that's the biggest problem. I mean, everybody holding these positions now, the portfolio, nearly everybody here, I think they've all experienced new portfolio highs. I think that's just manipulation. I mean, that's playing with human psychology, isn't it? We all know people are gonna huddle, okay, and then be convinced that you're traders, and we're gonna make massive amounts from like $1,000. But the real trading is, did you take profit? That's what makes you, isn't it? Did you make money? It's not about holding it, looking nice, until it's realized it's paper gains. It's not real gains, is it? So I think that's the biggest problem. Know how to get out, but more importantly as well, know how to get back in if it is going to continue. So that way you're banking, and you've removed that stress or pressure of missing out as well, because you know how to get back in. See what I mean? So
Yeah,
I think if you
100%.
sort those 2 basics out, then you're okay. Because then you're making money, your account's growing, and you're not fearing of missing out. Then the rest we can work on.
Yeah, that's great advice, mate. I genuinely think that, one of the great things about your streams is that you literally go through kind of every scenario. Like, this is where I'd get long,
Yeah.
this is where I'd short,
I mean,
this is
I know
what I
a lot
don't
of
want to see. And sometimes, like, it does whatever the fuck it wants. You don't take a trade, or it doesn't work out quite the way you think it does. But you've, said, this is where I will take a position, this is where I won't. And you
This
just
is where I
let
find-
it come to you.
Exactly. This is where people it could go up and down. Yes, it could go up and down. I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't. Is it okay? So up or down? I'll go yes. I mean, I'm not the type that's gonna catch the string low here. I don't know. But if it goes up, what do I need to see for the up move trigger? If it's gonna go down, what do I need to see? So yes, it could go up and it could also go down. But I'm ready. What do I need to see for the trigger? But yeah, I don't think that people understand that. But yeah, I think, and I think the reason why I say that also with what possibility it could push up, I think this is just going to be the key for us here. Do we settle above here? I mean, obviously it's a holiday day, so I don't know. But if it does, even on a holiday, I think that's when I think we actually we go for these highs here then, because these shouldn't be taken then. Why is market still trading above here? So then I want to shift over to the ES. It's a bit messy, but if I was just trading and not looking at FA, I would call this a possible bottom. And the reason why I say that is because if I look at the yearly, I mean, my Twitter's shit posting, but if you get to the serious part of it, what we've done is we've taken our previous year's high, and we've taken our previous year's low. So yes, if you start trading below here, then okay, we're gonna probably, I don't know, some sort of target within here. but from a starting a position point of view, it's not a bad idea. We're naturally going to get a reaction from a macro level like that anyway. And this is where I was long. I even posted it in real time when it was down here. So I'm taking along here and it pushed up. That's a decent move, that is.
Yeah,
Now
that's
the
nice.
question is I think if it is going to be a bear market rally, I think the squeezes are really aggressive. So I think we possibly get something. Let me zoom out. So this is where it's going to help me. At what point would I confirm that this is sort of bottom? So let's go back. It's like this, isn't it? So it's like a key level here. It's sort of consolidation and then break out of the consolidation. But because it's a bear market already, we know the rallies are going to be short-lived. Okay, but it still gives you something like a stop run. So if I'm going to do the same thing again here, very, very similar. So if I take this as 0.1, this is where I get into fractals, but it's just the best way to show it. 0.1, and this is 0.2. This is the key level. If I go back, right, this is around 2021 mid-range. So the high is the key, 2021 low is the key, and the midpoint is the key. So the market's really moving within these ranges. So when it moves within whatever the handle movement is, it gives you a big reaction. That's where you get equal measured moves from, don't you? So if we go back now, what gave me the confirmation here at that point that we can take out these highs was obviously, well, in this case, it's probably going to be a move above here, but that doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to wait for this. That means I've got my range set, play it from there towards there. If it breaks out, happy days. If it finds resistance, there rejects, cut my long, but then I can get back in. By that point, I think this will be a key target. And we'll see, I mean, Bitcoin's like ES on steroids, right? So if that moves, that's going to move a lot higher. So what I'm going to do is, so, I mean, it's a holiday today, but for me, I was looking to short this last week, and I did short it, but because it's failing to go a lot lower, that sort of puts me off. And a lot of my shorts on Bitcoin were quickly moving back up. So that's like I mean, it stopped me the other week, but I was unfortunate. But it shows the strength of the market. So if that's the case, what we've got here is a basic range play. We accepted that it's come off a key level. Is this a high or low? Who knows? But what's gonna confirm it for me is, see this range here? That's capping the market. Initially, okay, for nice a deviation, but say once the markets open again, well, for the Americans or the US markets, then that's going to be an obvious stop area, isn't it? Now, if this gives me the trigger, what does that mean for Bitcoin? Bitcoin's going to go up as well then, isn't it? Peter Schiff's bank has been shut down. Peter Schiff is still rich as fuck anyway, so let's not troll Peter Schiff. Listen, people talk about Peter Schiff's bank gone down. Adam did a good tweet. Your fucking coins are on an exchange that are insolvent. Dude, more fuck you or him. Jesus. You know what I mean? Peter Schiff still got money, even if he's shut down. But have you got the money? Your exchange is going down, boy. You ain't getting the money back. You know what I mean?
So taking no prisoners.
But it's true though, isn't it? I mean, I don't get it. You're taking the piss out of a guy that's worth hundreds of millions while he's sitting there looking at $1,000 next on your $100 investment.
I mean,
shut the fuck up.
He lost like 8 million, like it was nothing.
Yeah,
I think
okay,
it
he
was
lost
about
a few
8
million.
And
You think he's
like,
stupid? He's gonna put everything in. These guys are smart. He's doing it all for his marketing. Look at the attention he's getting. This is what he's doing for.
Yeah, of course it is.
I mean, we're taking the piss out of him, right? And this guy knows what he's doing. He's playing you. He's hyping you guys.
Well, that's it. It's the fact that so many people are actually great marketers. Yeah, they don't give a fuck. You don't know what they're actually doing behind
But those
the
that are taking the piss out of him are those with $5,000 accounts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the insanity.
Yeah, Peter Schiff's done very well for himself. He literally, he made himself pseudo-famous on Twitter by just slagging off Bitcoin. That was it. That's all he had to do. Like,
he's playing 5D chess with everybody.
yeah.
That one motherfucker's doing. He fucking knows what he's doing. And gold's not going nowhere. You know, gold is going nowhere. At the end of the day, crypto will go. Gold is still there. Gold's always been there from the beginning of time. It will always be here.
But
Until proven otherwise, assume it's always going to be there.
yeah.
I mean, what you're dealing with in is fucking degenerate Ponzi schemes around here. We're all are.
But to take a line from Impulsion that I was speaking to earlier, what do you think of, SZ, gold's like 20 times the market cap of Bitcoin. One day we'll get there. One day.
I mean, if you really look at gold, right, this is one big bull flag unfolding. I mean, even if it does drop from the 1800, 1200, that's still okay. I feel safer in something like this than anything else. I mean, gold, the question with gold, okay, so let's do gold now. So imagine this was Bitcoin, right? I mean, I found it hard to trade this region here. I've got chopped up so hard. There's a few lines we took already. I was okay, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not good at trading short-term gold. It's just so spiky. It's not my market. But golf with gold, right? There's gonna be two things. I don't know. I mean, I think this is where the FA counts. One is I'm gonna be blindly buying here if it comes into here. I mean, this is still going up. Gold is going nowhere. So it's sort of this sort of scenario here, and there was the breakout play there. So I'll play the breakout play. If it gets back above here, this is gonna be a monster move. Okay, and people will shift into gold then, and then we'll see who's laughing. Then I mean, Peter Schiff will probably be given some special account on Twitter when this happens, like that. But on the other hand, that's what I'm looking for. So it depends on what happens. If it's gonna crash 1400s, I think it's gonna buy it, but I don't see it going below here. I find it hard to believe. Gold is something else. You can't fuck with gold and silver. These are safety nets. No matter what happens, Yeah, I don't think gold's going anywhere. Just save. I feel safer money in here than some digital thing that could be hacked or exchange takes it off me without my say so. I mean, look at a lot of these projects. They've just been suspended. I mean, where is the decentralization in that? Which one was it that recently got hacked? Or because somebody hacked it and they paused it? I can't remember.
I
Did you hear it?
up, mate. Yeah, no, I can hear you. I'm just trying to
No,
think.
I mean, did you hear about that project? That was it today or yesterday? There's a project. I don't know.
I'm just looking at the chat, see if anyone knows what they got hacked and fully stopped.
Where's the decentralization in that?
Yeah, no, it is, and like that's the things what you were talking about earlier about like regulations, protection for users. We just kind of accept that people get rugged, and we're just like, oh yeah, okay, that's a participation cost, but it's a fucking horrific participation cost if it's your first time dabbling in this industry and it's with your life savings. Like, and I know that there's a bit of like quote unquote natural selection in that, but like it's pretty fucking horrific. If you've worked for 5, 10, 20 years, you've made X amount of money, you put it in Luna for that 20% APR that you're told is sustainable, blah blah blah, and what you wake up one morning and it's gone. Like, fuck me, it's. This is what
I've never been into these yield farms and stuff. I've had a bit in, but somebody I work with, they put it in for me and deal with it. But I only put in so what I was afford to lose. It was when I first looked at it. I mean, I'm somebody, I don't know much about the tech. But what I do know is when something looks too good to be true, that's fucking too good to be true. Some of the returns, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I mean, it's nice and all, but I mean, it's one of those things that they ain't gonna last. You know what I mean? So I put in a bit, but I wasn't making I wasn't confident enough to put money in that I could afford all of it in. It was just a bit. I put a bit in, and if I lose, I lose. And look what happened, man. It's just so far now. I don't think a lot of the info's come out now. It's like a dominoes effect. Who else is affected behind the scenes? And the next rally, I think that's when we'll find out. When you rally, I think that's gonna be exit liquidity, but it's just scary. I mean, at the same time, people want to look at the nice aspect of crypto going up. And to be honest with you, for you to make money, somebody's losing money as well. But you're not thinking about that when you're making your 1000x gains. But you're gonna start thinking about it when making your 1000x losses.
Yeah.
As fast as it goes up, it goes down twice as hard. But yeah, those kind of stuff, yield farming, so I just never trusted. I mean, maybe loads of people did do it and they made a lot of money and they got out on time.
Yeah, I think the time to do it was it summer 2020-ish when we had like the YFI run, and yield farms just went completely crazy.
It's a hot potato, but you gotta be smart to get the fuck out quick as well. Make your money. I should normally the initial hype is the best one, isn't it? Yeah. And then there's that second hype to get everybody in, and those guys that initially got in, they're getting out. So you got your exit liquidity then, and then the downturn.
Well, it's like any alt, really. Like they kind of have their cycles of discoverable, use. When everyone gets super hyped and they become in play, they go through like almost the Wall Street cheat sheet, right? Of like euphoria. This is the best thing since sliced bread. We had it recently with like Step N and all that kind of crap, didn't we? Walk to earn and move to earn and all that kind of stuff. Like everything kind of has its cycle, I think, in that respect.
I don't believe in hodling. I personally don't believe in hodling. Look at all your best coins, right? They all have their cycle, and they come all the way back down. Why not just
I mean, I don't know. I mean, which coin has really lasted? Apart from Bitcoin, Ethereum. You know, if you got on the bottom, then okay, that was worth hodling. But it's like the initial phase when it was most risky. Nobody knew about it. You know, that's when you could hodl. But once now, everybody, even when you're fucking going onto YouTube, right? Somebody's talking about some food shop, street food videos and cooking videos, and he's shilling crypto. So yeah, you go to crypto. Yeah, everything is like invest into crypto. Nobody was doing that before, so that's when the time was when it's least risky, most risky. Sorry, nobody knew about it. But now those days are over. I mean, how can everybody make money? How can everybody profit from it? That just doesn't make sense. The more the masses get in, that's it. Those days are gone. And if they do happen, it's because, well, it's gonna take your money off you, rug you, and these, that, the other. Create enough hype, get you to invest your money, and then use your exit liquidity.
Yeah,
That's just human nature.
Well, it's just hype cycles. It's fear and greed, isn't it? And it's, one of the sort of proponents of the last bull run was you'd see all these stories, right? You'd see a story of like a 14-year-old do an NFT project and raise 300 grand like overnight, and then that gets more people going, what's an NFT? And suddenly you bring people in. It's success kind of
Even
fuels
I don't know.
that greed.
I was copying you. I go, yo, when's the next one? Give me the next one. Give me the next one. DM me non-stop. Yo, fam, next one.
Yeah, I won't mention sea hams. Yeah.
Well, I made a lot of money on those though. Fucking I got that too early, but I thought, how can this be real?
Yeah,
I'm buying a fucking thing that I can copy and paste, but it's shooting up.
Yeah, you bought virtual hams.
I know. First time, I think for first rapper time, I just going in wherever he's copying. Made a couple of F from that.
Yeah, those were definitely easier and simpler times when just everything was pumping. But no, I think what would it take for you then personally to start like dabbling? Let's say we get a new invention in crypto, whatever.
I think it's the initial phase you want to go in and something new. Like look at AXS, right? The gains that made. It's something new. When something's new, and that's if you're gonna make your money, you're gonna know straight away. It's something nobody's comfortable with. Something new, something shiny, new shiny coin. Get the fucking straight away. You're gonna know straight away if you're right or wrong. And then when it gets hyped, get the fuck out, because the next one thing is not gonna be as good. So initially everybody goes all in just because of the hype. And then now, for example, the first gaming one was it AXS or SAN, whatever. That is huge numbers, right? But that's because nobody really was in. And then the following gaming coins, they did fuck all. They just got trashed. So and then just get in, get out. Just accept it's all a scam. That's how I look at it. It's all a Ponzi. I don't believe in hodling, but I will ride the hype and I'll get out as well. Ride the hype, get out. Ride the hype, get out.
Yeah, I love it. It's all a Ponzi. That's quite a...
It is though, isn't it? I mean, all our coins are gone up with so much coins that are gone all the way down. I'm shitting on fucking pennies now. I sell my house.
Oh dear. But it is like even fiat's a Ponzi, right? It's just about like the way I've kind of grown to see it is you're just moving your assets between places to try and get the best return, whatever that might be, and trading in between. So, are you doing anything particular to fight inflation or anything like that? Are you going balls deep in gold, metals, or anything? Or are you waiting for your trigger?
Yeah, shitload of silver. I bought. I mean, look at my Twitter feed. I did from in COVID low. I actually bought silver. Yeah, I even tweeted live in real time. Silver. I mean, I feel safe on fiat.
Yeah.
I mean, if fiat system goes down, then we're going to go down together anyway.
Yeah.
But this is where I've got in gold. If you look at my on this day, if you can find the tweet, there's actually I've got in on silver here. I just feel safer. But I'm always trading anyway, so I mean, I've always got my other strategies. There's only so much I can do. I mean, otherwise, But I don't think fiat's going anywhere unless the whole system goes down. And let's be honest, the main reason why everybody wants the bankers to go down and fiat is just because they want their little altcoin with $1,000 in to go up. But okay, that's nice. But when you start cashing out, you're back in the same pool as us, then, aren't you?
Yeah.
When you need to go to the shop and buy a pint of milk.
Well, I also think the fucking selfish fuckers that are sat there going, I hope the entire system crumbles.
I know.
So that I can sit at my computer all day.
I still need a mortgage from the bank still. I still need a loan. So I want them to go down, but at the same time I'm fucked as well. But yeah, I think we're coming into decent buys areas. So I mean, what I'd be looking for, silver. I like silver, but it's got real use cases in it.
Yeah, of course.
Not just precious metal. But once it can do the deviation, how deep it goes, I don't know. Maybe it comes to here, whatever it does. But once it goes back above, I bought most mine here anyway. I'm gonna look to buy more spot. And again, even that I cashed out some, but I think it's gonna go all the way up. Silver. I'm very bullish metals, precious metals.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, for me, I'm not a hodler. I think there's two differences, isn't it? There's the spot hodler, and he only knows one way, and he has to have a cycle. And then there's traders. Traders don't care which way. So I think being a hybrid of both is the best way. You don't have to be too sophisticated about it. Just know when to get out and know when to get back in. I think traders have the advantage. We make money both ways. My money made in bear markets, like, apart from some of the hodl bags I've had, crazy gains. It's mainly from shorting.
Yeah, you had some amazing models.
Even they were all hypes. I mean, you can't really say it's a scam after it's done 1,000x. If you didn't cash out, that's on you. You know what I mean? You can't call it because everything goes down, and then you're a hero when it goes up, and then you're a scammer, even though you called it here and said I'm getting out here. Now I'm a scammer. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, I think people are always going to be a bit salty if they're seeing people, be successful. Some people just admire it and go, yeah, fair play, pat on the back, move on. Other people get proper salty, don't they? And that's just Twitter, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people miss this as oil. I think oil is going to do numbers if this goes up. I mean, you sort of look at it.
I remember the day it went negative. That was just.
Yeah.
That was so.
It still looks strong to me.
It does.
This is. I mean, some of the bank reports, the JP Morgan or someone, they look for 240s, 250s. I reckon we definitely test down here. I mean, this is the thing. If this goes up, we're fucked, aren't we? I mean, oil, natural resources. Oil, everything's made from oil, plastics and your phones and everything. Your cars are functioning off of it. If this goes up, I mean, if people can't pay their bills and put food on the table, do you really think they're going to go into these fucking Ponzi schemes like alts? Think about that. Something basic. I mean, when things are global environment's different, then that's fine.
Yeah, but it's true, isn't it?
But now they're withdrawing money from the market. The Fed is quantitative tightening, and people can't pay their bills and stuff. My bill's fucking gone up like 40% in January, 40% again now. Unfortunately, I'm okay. But what about people that were struggling before that? And you think they really got spare more cash to put into this hype? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like we had this scenario where, we were printing money out of thin air. Everyone was at home, kind of bored. What do? Get into crypto? Maybe gamble a little bit. It's strange. And then energy bills are going up, food bills are going up, cost of living is going up, wages are going down on a real basis. Like, Joe Blogs probably isn't going to come out to buy your 700th version of AXS and gain to earn.
Yeah.
But maybe.
At least you can walk to earn, can't you? So.
Yeah. Imagine work to earn. Like, wow. What a new
No way,
concept.
work to earn. You gotta work and make money. Wow.
Yeah. Well, someone said fuck to earn in the
I'd love to
in the
shit
chat.
post to earn. I'd love a shit post to earn one. I mean, I'll king of
Mate,
shit
shitpost to earn. That would be literally the greatest coin ever. I'm surprised that's not been done by the CT crew, to be honest.
Watch after the stream. Watch the hype.
Watch the hype. Yeah, we'll get accused of.
What we'll do, we all as a collective in this chat right now, we'll create the coin. All of us ride and we'll dump on everybody that hasn't attended this stream.
That's it.
Fuck it. Take that back. 'Cause somebody's gonna take me out of context.
Yeah.
I'll post it.
Yeah, I'll delete that bit. I'll edit that out. How do you, or the question I suppose should be, do you take triggers between assets, or are you purely driven off the chart that you're looking at? So you were talking about ES and BTC earlier, and your kind of ES long trigger. Would you go straight to your BTC chart then and be like, right, I really want to get along this, or would you start going into 5 minutes sort of time frame, or?
Good question. I mean, for example's sake, when I was looking for some longs on ES, I mean BTC, I first went to this chart here because this was like a major low for me, 2021 low, even if it's a reaction, right? But from on a swing basis, I do. It's more of a swing basis. So, for example, say once I know this was cooked around here, then it just makes sense to just start looking for BTC shorts. However, if I'm scalping within the range, then it doesn't really make a difference. They're not going to be. But in general, they are 1-to-1. I mean, they got a tight correlation normally. So, for example, say this morning when I took this long, actually in the video, I'll save a video on my Twitter feed. Yeah, I mean ES was just holding. It's just a holiday today, so it's not going to move much. But on its own merit, well, I'm just treating it as its own merit. ping pong between these two levels, right? So ES doesn't affect it much in that sense. But if ES did something like this, where if it's just confirmed, now it's carving a high low, if it gets above here, then probability wise, I don't think we're going to stop here. I think we're probably going to take that out. Then I look at Bitcoin and say, okay, well, just for an example's sake, where's my support for Bitcoin? I mean, this is my key level. That's previous all-time high here. If this is trading above here, then probability-wise, this is already lined up on its own merit, like I explained at the beginning. But the confluence with that is now Bitcoin. I mean, ES as well now. So at that point, then I'll say, okay, you know what? Most likely, we're probably going to go towards here then. So at that point, on a swing basis, yes. But on a short-term scalp basis, it doesn't matter that much. So yeah, I do look at them. In general, I do, but I do also take it on its own merit as well. Yeah. It's hard to explain because it's a mixture of both. It's a lot of gut feel as well. I think sometimes in general ES will just range, and if it's in a range and this looks bullish, then Bitcoin doesn't need much of an excuse. So if ES holds, they're both ES is above that. As soon as you start trading above here, it looks like a technical breakout, but I've got the support from say the bond market as well, what yields are doing on ES, and then that if ES holds above, then that probability wise that's a genuine breakout for me because everything's lined up. But I'm looking at all the other factors to get into here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if he starts collapsing right now, game over. Fuck the long idea. The Saudis are buying puts. And we're going down.
I did love that tweet. Yeah, turns out the Saudis are buying puts. Fuck you know. Send it to zero.
That's it.
But no, I like it. So you're using it kind of more as confluence and to structure probabilities rather than just an actual trigger. You know, still triggering off your ranges and your levels.
Because on its own merit, it's not enough. Yeah,
I'm longing this because this is going up. Good. Someone in the chat, Impulsion actually, has asked, what's the kind of holding time for scalps for you?
I mean, it varies. Sometimes scalp can evolve, but I just set my target. I'm not the best scalper. I mean, within this range, I've probably taken about 2 scalps to the long side. One was down here. So initially, I played the initial reaction, but around here, I was short. I played it from here, took out these highs here, got out. That was yesterday. And then this morning, it was carving a higher low, and the ES was holding up, and I posted this one, and my main target one, and I got out in the rest at around about here, here. As the remainder has a limit there. I wanted to pull back, so now I'm going to wait. So whatever that holding time is, I mean, if it starts hanging around here too long and it starts dropping, weakening, and then ES starts changing. So at one point, Bitcoin can hold, and then ES rallies into resistance and then turns them off. Thesis changes. But again, it's a scalp day trade, so things can change within minutes for me. But ideally, I want to do a fast run. So scalps I don't hold for more than an hour or so. I mean, some call that a day trade. But yeah, my definition of scalp may be a bit different, but not for too long.
No, that makes sense.
Because you can always get back in when things start looking good, and I tend to exit. But there's no real hold time. It's hard to say. I can't really answer that. I mean, sometimes if it's a dry day, it takes a bit longer. But yeah, usually, I mean, if it's not there within a couple of hours, I'll just cut it and just come back later.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. Yeah, and it's difficult, isn't it? Because I often refer to scalping as like, you know, maybe an hour, 2 hour long trade. And I know scalpers who are genuinely on the 15-second chart and they're in and out of a trade. You know, if they're in it for more than 5 minutes, then it's probably not what they want. So it gets closed. That's the beauty of trading,
it's just personal preference really as well. Like Jim, I remember listening to Jim once. If it doesn't go his way straight away, he cuts it quick. So he's a different type. I use wider stops. I'm the different type. But I trade less. I have my certain niche. I look for the big swing trades where I can compound hard.
Yeah.
And that's what I look for. And then once I've got a bit of a cushion on that, then I'll start scalping both directions. You know, if he's going to pull back against me, I leave the core running. I take counter trade. That's more my style.
Yeah, that makes sense. So are you trying to trade less over the summer and actually go out and touch some grass and do all that kind of
bullshit,
stuff?
No, nobody, and whoever says they are, they're bullshitting as well. Nobody's going anywhere. We're all going to still be here. I'm taking less time, family time. Shut the fuck up. You see with your family all day. How much fucking time do you need with them? Okay, no. No, not gonna lie. I'm be degenerate trading all summer unless I go somewhere. Even when I'm going somewhere, I'm still trading. But yeah, no, I'll be fucking trading. No fucking way. How am I gonna just stop? Nobody really stops. And if you're stopping, you call yourself an investor, right? Then you shouldn't even be looking at the markets. You know, if Bitcoin's gonna go to 500,000, right? And you should buy at 60K. That's fine because when you come back because you called yourself an investor and the long-term hotline, you're in it for the tech. Who cares if it goes to 10K? I mean, you're long-term, right? Actually, nobody really takes a break. Whoever says they take a break, chatting shit. And even if they are, they're battling with Twitter. They either go on an alt account and get that itch out, you know, and then come back on the main account. Yeah, it's been a nice break. Fuck where you gone anyway. How do you know what I was tweeting? You know what I mean? Nobody's going anywhere. We're all gonna be here, especially now. Now that we're underwater, we're more focused now. Fuck the hell. These kids go back to school. Don't want don't want distractions.
I love it. Yeah, the chat saying based. That's it, spitting facts.
It's true though, isn't it? I mean, I know I'm not going nowhere. I mean, I made quite a bit of money off this, but I'm not going nowhere. I'm still here.
Yeah, I've seen some.
My shit posting goes up in summer.
You've definitely done all right. Yeah, it's just, but that's the thing I think is that like if you love the game, then and you put your passion, your time, your energy into it, and you have some discipline, and you learn and master it as best you can.
It's more a hobby now. Yeah, I love it. I love it doing it.
But I think that passion doesn't go away, does it? Like,
no, I mean, you see me each night. I say good night, and then 5 minutes later, I'm back again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm tweeting non-stop till 3 in the morning. Like, good morning 1 hour later.
Yeah, but if you love it, why not? Like, yeah. I'm
I mean, it's also good to have some sort of balance. Obviously, now I am taking more breaks now, but even within my breaks, I'm not gonna completely. I can't stop. You know, what's the point? All of us here, I think we can relate. We can't 100% cut off from the market. We're too invested emotionally. Obviously, it's not about the money. It is about the money. Let's accept it. Whether that's you enjoy it or whether for most of us it is gonna be that monetary investment in there. We've got we can't separate ourselves from that. What if the market crashes, especially in this environment? You can't switch off. Every other day, some projects going down where you got your money in. But what you can do is you don't fight it completely. See, this is the thing. People go to the extreme and I want to completely stop. No, you're not going to stop. But you balance it a bit more. That's all. In life in general, it's always about that middle path, isn't it? Going to from one extreme to the other, it never works. Like an alcoholic, right? You can't have to stop drinking straight away. He's either going to die or he's going to be fucking get worse. So you just, wean off of it. So you distract yourself with something else. But have a time. And that way, it's easier.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people go from sort of scalping on lower time frames to try and do a bit more swing trading, or just longer term trading as opposed to, in and out on the 1 minute chart. And that's, I think, a little bit more sensible if people do want to manage their time in the markets a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. And am I addicted to it? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but make that addiction more balanced. That's it. Or make it a positive addiction. There's an addiction where you're just doing non-stop coke and drink and making no money. But if you're gonna make money by doing drink and coke, fucking carry on. Take 2 lines from me as well. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna make money from it, if it helps you, then carry on.
Yeah. Start thinking about branching out as well. Deal it as well.
Yeah, like, maybe try a bit of heroin or something. I mean, no, let's not go. They can get yourself banned. Okay.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, kids. Stay in school. Everything that's said in this stream
I'm gonna get your channel banned, aren't I?
does not constitute advice. Stay safe, stay off drugs, stay healthy, eat your vegetables.
Just create a balance. That's all I would say. Just create a balance. Don't go to the extreme and just create a balance.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? If you're checking the chart every 2 minutes, you're probably overexposed in terms of, if you're trying to be with your family on a family birthday or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you've got time to yourself and you're dedicating it to trading, I don't think there's an issue with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people watch TV, play computer games, do all that kind of stuff. Because I remember you saying, you don't play games or anything like that.
The only game I played was RuneScape. That's back in the day, and that's just because I was making money off of that.
So you were
my luring videos on YouTube
RuneScape,
as
were you?
See me lure. But yeah, I don't play game PlayStations. I don't know. This is a game for me. This market is a game for me.
Yeah,
I find it big. Isn't it one big game really? If you think about it, it's one big game, isn't it? One big player versus player. And this is where you know you're right or good or not. You make money or you don't.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is if the number in your account is going up slowly over time and it's well risk managed, then you're doing something right. Magus always calls it like the best PvP game out there. You are ultimately taking someone else's money because someone is on the other side of that trade.
Yeah,
and
we're all each other's exit liquidity one way or another.
Yeah.
I mean, for me to make money, someone's gonna lose money, and vice versa. So we're all happy. We don't realize we're taking other people's money on the other side. But oh, how dare you take mine? You were more shitter than me. That's it. Except you just playing this game.
Yeah.
Don't cry about it.
Today I drink your milkshake. Tomorrow you drink mine. It's fine. That's what happens. Someone's asked in the chat. They said, "Can you explain your money management?"
I mean, money management is very discretionary. Mine is. I don't use the same risk across the board. I mean, for example, when in the peak of when there was I was playing the best of the bear cycle was, when it was. I mean, for example's sake, I'm a lot more aggressive. Once the high was in, then I've got an obvious target to reach for. Then I'm quite risky. I put them because we've got a big move to go. Then I can start aggressively going in short, short. So what I do is I tend to do a small amount. And then once a new violation, I'll add another amount. That's for swing trades. Because until that's met, I can add. And what's the point of just having one position and getting out there and that's it? But you wasted the opportunity, isn't it? You could add many positions. You see what I mean? As long as you manage your risk with new violations. But when it comes to a point where like down here now, when it was down here, I had to completely cut most of the position because it's reached my target now. So, is it really worth giving all this back? Or even not all this, but even like this chunk back over something that may or may not come here. And if it is going to go over there, but you can always get back in. So after I exited, I missed a lot of this move actually. I had a small position in because it happened over the weekend, didn't it? Yeah. I remember I was away. And this move here happened over the weekend, which rarely ever happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm content with what I made. Always be content with what you make. So if I want to get bullish, right? I'll start off by doing small risk. Like this scalp was small, but once it confirms, a lot of my money was made. Like for example, that leg here, or I don't know, that leg there. Certain legs that are obvious, that's when I go balls deep. But when I'm not sure, for example, I did short a bit here, and it looked nice for sure. I have my entry there, my exit there, but the position is not that big because I wasn't confident there. But when the probabilities line up, once the deviation confirmed, then my obvious targets here. So that I'm more willing to put more money behind here and get on the move late than I'm willing to here because at this point it could be support because resistance becomes support, continue up. But when this happens, okay, the odds are in my favor now. So I follow the odds. When the odds are in my favor and line up, I put my foot on the gas. But when I'm not sure, even though I either don't trade or take small risk, those small risks save me. But yeah, and another example is even though I was bearish, bigger picture. I thought we are gonna get a move into here, which surprised me. So all the longs I took was like a third of my normal risk, and I was getting out quick because I'm counter trend trading. But the moment this broke, that's it, balls deep again. I mean, I said balls deep, but balls deep for a weekend risk I use.
Yeah,
it's still simple because that's still the primary trend. So I like to play the primary trend, and I put more risk on. And if I'm counter trend trading, and the setup is still there, I'll do small risk. So as the odds increase in this favor, so if, for example, say with this one, if ES lines up, then this is and breaks above, then this is a deviation. Then I personally think there's a good chance we'll run these highs here, because why not? This is a range, right? If you follow your rules, we come off a macro level, whatever that was. If you get above here and hold, then I'm more willing to put more of a risk on this long if it gives me the trigger than picking a low. How many times have people been wiped out bottom picking? But once it confirms the low, then who cares about this? Because that move here, I put more money behind, and it's higher probability than 5 attempts at a low, and then this one move will just about make up for those 5 losses. You see what I mean? That's Twitter, isn't it? You get forgiven for 10 losses going long, but that one win, everything's forgiven.
Yeah. I love it, mate. So you're adding to potential winners when the odds are in your favor.
Yeah, I add once it's confirmed. I don't try. I don't like adding as it's going against me. That's not my style. Others can do it. I'm not good enough to do that. I know my weaknesses. I know my strengths. I'm not here to look good. I'm here to just make money. Shit posting aside, my job is everybody's job is just to make money, right?
Yeah.
However way you do it, who cares if someone disagrees? If it's working for you, then who are they to say otherwise?
Yeah, 100%. So you're never martingaling into an underwater position.
No. I mean, in my early days I've done that, and I got fucking dealt with. I got dealt with hard. All my gains were just wiped out within days,
Wow.
months of gains. I was fucking, oh man, it's stressful. All that effort you put, it's more the effort you put in, and fuck that shit. The reminder of that pain stopped me from doing it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have the same trials and tribulations as most people.
Yeah,
then
the
you
only way
just-
we learn is to go through
Yeah.
it. No matter how much you tell somebody, don't do this, they ain't gonna fucking listen. We only learn when we experience pain. So now I let them go carry on, do it, but just do it. Because that's the only way you'll sink in. No matter how much you tell people, they ain't gonna do it otherwise. I mean, how many of us here have been through 3 cycles, we never catch time, do the same thing again? Well, either fucking love pain, or those people never learn. Okay, 1 cycle can be forgiven for. Second one, nah. That's on you then.
Yeah, 100%. Thankfully, this was my second cycle. So I
Yeah, I mean, I think mine as well. I mean, I was in crypto, I was in traditional markets, so I joined crypto late as well.
Did you?
Yeah, I joined in, I can't remember when, but even my beginning, I wasn't that much into crypto. But once I got into it, fuck, I think more, past 2 years I've been more into it.
Yeah.
I just FX just been dead. I tried ES and stuff, but bonds, but FX has been dead for me. I mean, yen's picked up. Yen was my main play. That's it, the yen, playing the
Was
yen
it?
shorts. And that's it, it's been positioned. I've held them for months, all those. But crypto, I mean, you can't beat crypto. You know, as much of a Ponzi it is, and I call it scam, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful Ponzi. The volatility in there, you can't beat it. No other market I personally trade as good as crypto.
I think that's it, isn't it? I think that's one of the most beautiful things is that I've seen a lot of traders who have come from forex backgrounds and have come to crypto purely because, yeah, like you said, with your long thesis setup, you get it right once with a decent risk management or decent size trade, the gains can be astronomical, and the time to do that can be quite small. So you can end up compounding quite a small account to be quite a big one quite quickly,
Yeah.
just because of the volatility. I mean, you can wreck your account as well if you're,
But I think where
degenerate.
people wreck their accounts is the management side. I think the real trading is the trade management. For example, say, I mean, I'm sure loads of us longed it here, but nobody really held it from tick to the high. What wrecks us are these pullbacks against us. These pullbacks against us. This is what wrecks us. So this is where when I said at the beginning, if you can find a way to profit take properly, but then get back in, then you won't get wrecked. I mean, we all longed it here, but how many of us have the balls to hold it from there? I don't.
Yeah.
But I accept that. I say, okay, I'll get out whatever price, for example's sake here, and then I'll get how to get back in. So if you know how to get back in, you catch a decent. Your job isn't to catch from low to high. Just get a lion's share of your move, and that's it. Decent one. But where do we get wrecked? We'll say, okay, I'm a long-term investor right down here. Now I'm a day trader. I'll get out here. I mean, you skip back, and then I'm a long-term investor again, and then a day trader. You just give it all back, and then you realize if I just fucking follow my plan, I've got a proper planning way. It's a long-term thesis. I'm at range lows. Logically, it should come to at least here. I'm gonna get out here. Okay, you're done. If it breaks SR, retest. Well, as long as it doesn't go below here, we're fine. My thesis remains the same towards here. And if you do that and follow the plan properly, and not just chase at the highs and at the low and chase at the lows, have a plan from beforehand. This is why when I plan my scenarios, I know where to expect the exits and entries. It doesn't surprise you. But if you haven't got the plans as to where you can get in and out, then that's where surprises you, like this big shock here. But really and truly, where did that come into? If you think about it, it was just here, these lows here, isn't it? But whether this crash happened or not, well, that's your support area regardless, isn't it? So where it stopped at, it's no surprise. That's range highs, that's range lows. It's no surprise how fast it gets there. And once it starts establishing itself, instead of saying, "Oh, it's game over," no, it's fucking support and then new highs.
I think that's it, isn't it? A lot of people do change their bias based on their sentiment, and it's like that's kind of where technical analysis and
I mean, I'm
stuff comes in.
posting long setups now. People are hating me. Those same fuckers were hating me when I was short.
The duality of people, eh?
I know, it's like, yo, I can't get anything right. I'm longing with you guys now. What's the problem?
I think that's because you and Exo and Jim always get salt for being quote unquote perma bears, despite having ridden the market up and ridden the market down. It's just people, I guess, can't really do both. It's quite an exception, you know, to a lot
I
of
think I make it worse because I
retail.
know what I'm doing. I'm just pissing them off on purpose. Why? You know what I mean, if you're gonna get triggered, I'm gonna push it further. You know what I mean? I'll be taking the long and pretending to be short, like posting bearish setups and it's over, and I'm fucking long from here. It's just all fun and games.
But that's it.
But
If you can't take some tweets from someone, you know, over the internet, you probably haven't got what it takes to be a trader. Like,
You know. Somebody's asking in the chat, what my trigger? I'll go for a trigger setup here. So let's trade a basic range example, live setup. I'm not saying I'm taking it, but I just that's now we're on stream. It's happening. Well, if you think about it, there's two types of triggers I take. One is invalidation. Where am I wrong? If it gets below here, so if it gets below here, so I'll bungles hard stop there, because if it's gonna come back that low, then I'm probably wrong, right? So this is on its own merit would be a long for me. I'm not taking it right now because it's just holiday. I'm done. I'm not streaming. Need full focus. But that would be a long setup for me based on invalidation. Or if it gets below here and starts holding, then I'll try to cut it, and then I'll flip. That's my short. Play towards target 1, target 2, and that's just a range plays and that's a deviation. The other way is okay. If I want a bit more confirmation that it's holding, well, we shouldn't really get below here. But if it starts doing this, well, that's a deviation. Then that's a more higher probability setup. And by then we probably go towards here. It's level to level play. So that's my two types of triggers. Breakout play triggers. Sorry, I was just answering somebody. I'm not interfering in the stream.
no, that's good,
how I
mate.
play. And if it deviates back below here, then okay, it's game over. Play back within the range. I'll take the hit. Target 1, target 2. Now whether it breaks out or not, I don't know. But if it does, I've already planned for that. And I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. For this play here. That's a range high below breakout. And then go for the down move. That's it.
Easy as peas. There you go.
Again, it's just planning, isn't it? I know exactly where I'm going to get out. I know my risk. I know what I'm targeting. The rest entry is just an excuse for entry. However, we use order flow, moving averages, or SR. Doesn't really matter then.
Yeah, and I think
I
that's
personally
it.
want to wait for it to get back above here. Because that could still be this. So if it does this, and then there's that, then my odds are increased. It's a trend line break as well. It's done the retest. It's holding above here for too long. That should, if it's going to go down bears, it should have done it already. And then that towards here. That would be my play.
So that's it. I'm going 100x leverage on that play.
Delete my tweet, delete the
If it
stream
happens.
if you lose this.
I think you're going to do 20x and FTX these days.
Is it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't trade them.
Everyone had
I don't.
this.
Do I don't like the user interface and the things. Fucking hell, I prefer like the other ones. They must like Bybit, Binance, even Prime XBT is better than these guys. I mean, I find FTX difficult to use.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like it. I just like my plain simple ones. I like BitMEX, the ones like that. I think BitMEX is my favorite place.
BitMEX. Oh man, I haven't traded on BitMEX in a long time.
Yeah, I still play there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I get used to something. That was my first playground.
I think Bittrex was my first playground.
Oh, Bittrex.
Bittrex. Trying to get after John McAfee's coin of the day.
No, I play on Bybit most of the time. Bybit and Binance. Actually, no, I'm not supposed to say that.
Nice.
My friend does, sorry. Not me.
Your friend, yeah, obviously.
My friend uses Binance a lot.
Yeah, your friend. Are there any other questions sort of from the chat? I haven't, let's have a peep. Do you use leverage? 100x?
Yeah, I use leverage. I mean, from nowadays, I try to. I've taken most of my money off exchanges. I've even converted most into fiat. I mean, I don't trust. I don't even trust the stable coins. I just have enough to trade with, and that's it. So yeah, I've taken everything off.
Yeah, I was gonna
There's
say.
always something about these stables. Sometimes some FUD about USDT, and then there's a FUD about USDC. Why am I risking that much? What the fuck is the point? I mean, if I don't know for 100%, put into fiat. I've got most of mine in fiat now. I've just got whatever I left over. If I need to convert it back, okay, I'll convert it back. But why take that risk of insolvencies and who knows which exchange going down next?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I basically did half a stream on it a while ago when I was banging on about tax and systematic risk of crypto. It was a fucking boring stream. Please don't ever go back and look at it because you won't get the hour of your life back. But the TLDR is like I do a weekly review of like my my assets, including crypto, between USDT and USDC, what exchanges they're on, and basically if I'm happy to, keep that risk. Because, let's face it, something's going to pop at some point, whether you've got cash on Celsius, I won't say other places because people will be like, oh, you're fudding X, Y, Z. But no, there is huge systematic risk just from crypto. Tether.
I know. And I mean, like, what I hear, what scares me is 1 minute when they say USDT, they thought about USDT and give the reasoning, and then next minute somebody posts, no, it was all bullshit. If there's so much uncertainty, why fuck this shit? I'm walking away, man. You know what I mean? I'd rather go into the fucking central bank Ponzi's.
But that's what I mean. If there's a risk. Let's say there's a risk that Tether collapses. Let's call it 1% before all of this shit. Now it's probably what, 5%, 10%? Probabilistic thinking would say that chance, whatever it was before, is higher now than it probably was 6 months ago. And as that goes up, do I want my assets and my net worth in that? Fuck no.
The only way I wouldn't care is if I just had a small amount in. Well, fuck, if it goes down, it goes down. But if you got a significant amount, you're thinking like that. You're thinking about preservation of capital. After a certain point, it becomes to preserving your capital. It's not like, initially when you're growing your account, you want to make a lot. But once you reach that stage, but okay, you know what? Now I'm comfortable. I can slow it down a bit. Then I need to preserve the capital. As our money shifts, and that's why you hedge it. That's what we call a hedge fund. But I'm not. It's not worth for me. If I was to walk away now, that's fine. But I'm not fucking putting all my money into fucking stables, and this could collapse at any moment. Fuck that shit.
I love how you just say it as it is, mate. Honest to God. It's
That's
so
the truth, though,
refreshing.
isn't it? I think most of us would be better off if we just accepted this is the reality. Accept it.
Yeah, my next guest, Michael Saylor, might disagree. I'm joking.
There's no other coin. It's not a Bitcoin. I want to know how. I want to ask him, like, if you bring him on one day, how many lines do you take before you come on to him? Ask him, because the way he behaves, fucking guy, definitely on coke. Look at his eyes. He's definitely on coke. He's got some good shit. I wanted to hear his dealer's number as well. Where does he get this shit from?
These allegations are, Yeah, he's quite a visionary, isn't he, in the space?
Everybody has their role. He maybe he played a huge part in promoting Bitcoin, this, that, the other. So maybe Bitcoin wouldn't have gone up as much if it wasn't without him as well. As much as we love him when he's in the bull mode, we shit on them in the bear mode. I'm just doing take the piss. Who am I to Marcus Day? The guy's a billionaire. He's achieved what I'll never achieve. But it's all good fun. I know my limits. This guy, he's got his own purposes. He's got his own agenda going. It's different. I'm making my own. Well, this guy's made money, man. You know what I mean? He's just doing I don't know what the fuck he's doing. But it's just the issues are with him. And, when he's telling everybody to mortgage houses. But he's okay, though, because he'll still be okay, even if it does crash. You know what I mean? He's still going to be filthy rich. Well, the average guy, when he's listening to him mortgaging the houses, that's the problem, isn't it? He don't give a fuck. He can lose billions. He'll still be okay. Like that Luna guy, he can lose all of it. He said, I lost significant. The man's still rich as fuck. You know what I mean? Who cares what? I was only worth 10 million now. Fuck off, man. You made your money. You can crash now. Your project can crash. You made your money. But it's the average Joe that's suffering.
And that's what, back to your point earlier about taking profits and stuff. It's like, all right, I've just made, $500 on a trade. Lovely. But I've just seen someone post 100k P&L on Twitter. Oh, well, maybe I can ride this a bit longer because maybe my $500 isn't much. But your portfolio is $250, so you've literally tripled your portfolio.
Yeah, you've got to earn the right to do that kind of size.
That's it, isn't it? And it's what's relevant to you, not, I guess, other people. And I think people lose that quite quickly with Twitter, 'cause it's all glamorized, isn't it? Like you said, sailors there going, I just bought $20 million worth of Bitcoin. It's that's only 0.1% DCA.
Yeah, you gotta realize when Elon Musk tweets, this guy don't give a fuck. Elon Musk doesn't need to make money. He's investing. You gotta remember, he doesn't need to invest. The guy's fucking. What's he gonna invest in? Either richest man. Why does he need to invest? What's he gonna do with it? I think he's just bored.
Yeah, he is.
I think the man's just bored. How much more money does he need?
He's completed the game money-wise, isn't he?
He's just bored now.
He's number one on the life leaderboard, so...
He's just taking the piss out of everybody. Yeah, I can do this and get a reaction. And, as humans, what keep us going is that emotional reaction, validation. That's what he all he needs now. He just needs a little, yes, you done good, lad. And that's it. He's happy. Give him a little rechargeable battery to play with, and it's fine.
Yeah, true. As he tries to send us all off to Mars.
I know, Doge. Yeah, let's pick the biggest Ponzi Doge, and let's promote that. Just because I can. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, just because I can.
Yeah, that's it. Just because I can. I mean, I'd probably do something. I'd probably do worse than him if I was in his position.
I love it. I love the confession that we're getting, which is, yeah, I'd do worse if I was in his position.
Yeah, I probably would. I mean, it's just fucking fun and games.
Yeah, but that's it, isn't it? Is, a lot of people do take what other people say on the internet far too seriously, and get quite salty and upset about it. But
You won't get yourself to blame, really. You know what I mean? You can't blame others. I mean, if you're stupid enough to blindly go in, who's the fucking blame one? It's like, you gotta take a minute and say, I just went in based on him telling me this is gonna be the next best thing, and now I'm gonna blame him. Dickhead, you're the idiot. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it, isn't it? And people taking advice from basically cartoon characters on the internet, which is 90% of crypto Twitter. Like, a duck told me to all in this, and I got liquidated. Well, come on, mate.
Yeah, I'm gonna sue the dog. Go to the fucking pond. Get the police after him.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Right, mate. Well, I've kept you on air for well over an hour. It's been an absolute fucking pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me on, lad.
Honestly, it's
I need to bring you on my stream and
it's
getting
been
everybody
too
in.
long,
So
my friend. Yeah,
you need
it
to
really
come on
has.
soon.
Oh, legend. Yeah, I'd be honoured. But
Okay, I've got to head off. I've got a few things to do before my stream. But thank you very much for having me, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Oh, I haven't offended everybody. If I have, fuck you anyway. Yeah. Take care, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I'll catch you soon. Oh, what a legend. What an absolute legend. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I've absolutely loved chatting to Ased. He's honestly so good to talk to. And he makes things so clear. I think that's the thing that I love about him, is he just goes, no bullshit, here is my plan. If it goes up, this is what I'm looking for. If it goes down, this is what I'm looking for. Here's my triggers, trade my plan, boom. And I think you find that with people who are experts in their field, they can explain it very simply to you, and they can make their decision making and their process and their logic, really easy to understand, not necessarily easy to just replicate, but yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for being here, and if you missed parts of the stream, I will upload it on both Twitch, which it keeps for a couple of weeks, and YouTube, which it keeps for forever. So if you missed parts of it and want to go back over it, whatever, check those out. Twitch and YouTube links are in my bio and all that kind of cringy stuff. But yeah, thank you all for being here, and see you soon. Peace out.